and welcome to this sit down video where we're basically giving you everything we know about Heathrow Airport's hotel zone, Bath Road as it's known. Most of you will probably be taking your own car, and the good thing about the hotel zone is obviously if you're staying in one of the hotels, they do all have their own car parks. If you're, like most of us, using the hotel for the one night before you depart, then it's good to sort of book 24-hour parking in the actual hotel's car park, and then you can drive then into the designated long stay. It's always good to know that a lot of hotels, they charge parking separately to the night stay, so don't think that when you book a night stay the price that you pay for the room is the price of the parking as well, because it's not. So you normally have to factor that in on top of. They normally tell you, don't they, on the website how much the parking is, so you can budget for that. But yeah, that's generally the way they do it with the car, is to park it in the hotel car park for that night and then move it on to the long stay parking afterwards. So for when you actually park the car, the choices generally are purple parking, which is on the Bath Road, which is right next to the Premier Inn. They more often than not come off as the cheaper option. Obviously they do have a shuttle service, don't they, with the purple parking, which will take you right into the airport, so it's one of the good options. Or there's the official Heathrow Airport parking, which you'll obviously find on the Heathrow website. I'll put all the links to those below to help you out, but they seem to be the most convenient. So if you're doing, like I said, parking in your hotel car park and then drive into the airport, the official parking is quite an easy option, isn't it? Because once you're in the airport car park, you then get the airport parking shuttle, which is like a short journey, which takes you to your terminal.
There's quite a lot to choose from as well. There's lots of different car parks, long stays, short stays.
Actually, the official
ones, yeah.
And you've got valet as well, haven't you? Yeah,
there's pretty much a car park per airport terminal.
That's easy for you to do.
But yeah, so there's a lot to choose from.
Don't know any others. Purple parking seem to be the most prominent outside of the terminal, don't they?
Unless you can find a resident down a back road that will let you park their car for
I wouldn't advise
2 minutes.
Not unless you want your car damaged.
Mind you, when they go ahead with this new, what's it called?
What, the other runway?
Runway, that's the word. When they go for this new runway, they won't be there.
Well, that's the far end, isn't it? It doesn't affect like the main drag. So yeah, just to elaborate the point, the Bath Road area is just like, for those who know Orlando, the best thing to describe it is like, it's like Orlando's International Drive. It's got all the hotels.
It's not quite as fun as International Drive.
Not as nice, no. But the idea is there. That's where, if you're staying at Heathrow, like non-stop before, most of it will be along this Bath Road. There are airport hotels that are on the other end, like Terminal 4. I think there's now a Premier Inn, and there's also a Premier Inn at Terminal 5. So it depends where you're going from. But if you're not sure what terminal you're going from, the Bath Road is the best one, because you can get to any terminal from Bath Road a lot easier. So obviously you've got the National Rail network. So whichever way you're coming in will depend on what train you get into London, and then from Paddington Station you then get onto the Heathrow Express, which will get you there within 15 minutes, wasn't it?
Well, that's what they say on their website, so
yeah. If you choose not to, there's also
the tube.
The tube, yeah. Heathrow is actually on the Piccadilly line. What I would advise is not travelling on the Piccadilly line within central London if you've got a lot of cases, because it does get crowded. Out towards Heathrow it starts to thin out from like Earl's Court, South Kensington.
It thins out even more as you branch off towards the Heathrow.
As you do, but
yeah,
manageable sort of levels is from those stations, I think. There's also, like I mentioned as well, the National Express. There are also National Express services that actually do go into Heathrow as well, which is a good option. We used to do that, didn't we?
We used to get the one to Gatwick, but obviously we'd call into Heathrow on the way to Gatwick. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Which stops at the central bus station, which is where it fans out to all the terminals.
Yeah.
Mainly closer to Terminal 2 and 3 is that, but you can also link to 5 and 4 as well. So if you're staying at or coming from the hotel zone into Heathrow, there are bus services which are operated by obviously the main London transport buses, so just your red standard buses, not any special hotel buses or anything like that. So again, if you've got a lot of cases, these may be a little bit restricted.
Yeah.
But they run a free area from Heathrow Airport as far as, what were we saying, as far as like the Renaissance?
A little bit further on from the Renaissance, you've got kind of the McDonald's, then there's another hotel next to McDonald's, which I can't think, it's quite a posh one, but I can't think what it's called now.
The Radisson Blue?
Might be Radisson Blue.
Yeah, and then the Marriott.
And then the Marriott, and then it kind of ends after that. So yeah. So
most of those, if you're staying at anything within that area, I'll try and put on a map, which will make it a bit clearer, then that's free to use the bus. If you're staying anything outside of that, I think it's only like £140 for an adult single, isn't it?
And you can, it's all contactless. I don't think they like cash on these buses.
No, you just tap
it's
your
all
card.
So if you've got an Oyster card or a contactless debit card or something, so a phone, a watch, then it's nice and easy to just tap on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whilst there are a lot of buses that run along from Heathrow along the Bath Road, not all of them go the full length of the hotel zone, as we call it. Apart from 2 buses, which are the 105 and the 111. Those 2 buses are the ones that you're guaranteed to serve your hotel.
Yeah.
From Heathrow outwards towards, I think it turns off just before the Travelodge.
Yeah, so if you're staying at the Travelodge, which is pretty much the top end of Bath Road,
which would be the last one,
which is the last hotel, then you would have to get off just before you get to that. But it kind of turns into a road to head off towards its like destinations as it turns in. What's that hotel on that corner? It's like a Hilton-y type hotel or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Then as it turns off there, then they drop off there, and then you can get to the Travelodge via walking, which is not too far away at all. So hotels then, what hotels are there? All of the popular ones generally. So you've got the Renaissance. If you're a bit of a aviation fan like me, it's a really good one to see the runway. That's the first sort of main one, isn't it, along that you come to. And that's quite a premium sort of hotel, isn't it? That's quite a nice sort of luxury hotel. More or less opposite, you've got the Radisson Blue. And then next to that you've got the Marriott. And then a bit further out then you've got the Premier Inn, which is the one that we stay at, which is obviously probably one of the best sort of prices within that area. Then on to that is the Abyss is actually before Premier Inn, but it's closer up towards like the Marriott and
from the Abyss onwards is outside of the free travel area,
Abyss onwards is
and then you've got, after that you've got the one that you mentioned, the Hilton, just on the corner.
I think it's something like a Hilton.
Yeah, I'll put a correction if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it is. And then just opposite that you've got the Travelodge, which, like I say, is the last one along that area.
And a Moxie.
The Moxie is sort of opposite what we think is the Hilton, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you're on one of the buses, you can get off at the Hilton, be like the Moxie, sorry, be the last one before it turns off.
Yeah.
There are also quite a few restaurants. Like we said, it is like the International Drive sort of area. There are, as well as hotels, there are a few restaurants.
They're not restaurants.
Fast food restaurants.
Fast food takeaway places.
Restaurants, I would say, if you want the restaurant experience, most hotels have their own restaurant on site, which also serve breakfast, which are quite convenient if you're catching like a morning flight. You hop down for breakfast and then make your way out.
If you're more into your sort of familiar, like I say, your fast food sort of restaurants, then you've got McDonald's, which is opposite the Renaissance. KFC, which is about sort of halfway along the.
It's just after the Premier Inn.
It's after, yeah, before.
On
the
the same side as the Premier Inn.
And more closer to the Travelodge at the top end, you've got Domino's, and also there's a Starbucks drive-through which is next to the KFC.
Yeah.
So it's sort of spread out, so there'll always be one of those next to you, or if you're driving then it's quite easy to sort of get to one of them. If you're not a fan, if you want to basically, or if you haven't taken your car,
or if your hotel has parking where you can leave your car there for the
whole duration. Yeah. But you don't want to catch the bus because of the restrictions possibly that I mentioned, then there is a service called the Hotel Hopper, spelled with an A. And basically that calls into all the hotels and literally right up to the lobby, and it will literally take you right into the Heathrow airport. I believe it drops you off at the terminals. Yeah, it's slightly more pricey, but it's a little bit more convenient and probably just a tad more reliable. Because obviously there's room to put your cases on and everything. It's literally designed for the purpose of getting you from your pre-night stop to the airport. And I've got a few prices for you. So solo, so that's a single, which is $5.50. The return is $10.50. Family single is $10.50, and a family return is £20. So yeah. Like I say, hopefully this video's helped you out a little bit. It is a bit confusing, but I'll put in a few sort of illustrations in between just to help you out, because it is, once you sort of grasp the lay of the land, as it were, it is quite useful to plan, to be able to plan for what you're doing. So yes, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video is interesting to you. If it is, then don't forget to like and subscribe. See you again next time.
See you next time.
Bye.